What's up, race fans, and welcome to another episode of the Pecino Report. This is the podcast where we just get straight past the hype for you, the MotoGP fan, get straight into the deep old brain pan of Mr. MotoGP himself, Manuel Pecino, to get the real news, not gossip. We don't deal in rumors, just what's going on in and around the MotoGP paddock. So here we are. It's season 2021. It's episode 24. It's the, what is it? It's the Gary McCoy episode, or it could be the Tatsuki Suzuki episode. I'll leave it for the boss to say somebody else, but I think it's the Gary McCoy episode. Good old Aussie racer, Mr. Squiggle, we used to call him, because he'd leave big black marks behind his bike as he did big drifting burnouts out of corners. Fantastic. Tiny guy, very powerful bike. So here we are. I've been away for a couple of weeks. I saw the episode last week, and Andrew did a fantastic job in my absence. Sorry, everybody, I was crook, but I'm back on deck now. So here we go. Hasn't been a race this week, but we are going to talk about some news that's been happening in and around the paddock and some events, and then have a look forward to next week. But before I go and do that, it's a very quick hello to my co-host and last week's permanent host, Andra. How you doing?
Do you know what, Stu? Yeah, it was very quiet and we missed you dearly last week. And yeah, it was very, very, very nice to have you back.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I can talk underwater. It's kind of what I do.
I feel like I did get the opportunity to speak a lot more because it was just Manuel and I. So I might have to butt in a bit more nowadays and stop being so patient.
Yes, don't be so polite. Jeez, it's only me. Come on, indeed. And the man himself, Manuel, how are you doing, mate? It's been a couple of weeks. Good to see your face again.
Thank you. And as Andra said, I am happy to have you back on board.
Thanks,
we really miss you because sometimes you must be you can be kind of giving headache, but yeah. at the end we miss you. You will miss you a lot too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
episode 24. Who's your pick?
Yeah, you said Gary McCoy. I remember perfectly because I was there.
Yeah.
Because I was there since it was black and white. and I remember Gary McCoy on that Yamaha with the Red Bull colors. Remember?
Yes.
Red Bull colors, 2 strokes,
right.
And exactly. Yep. He was the one who started to slide like crazy.
Exactly.
Because he was using that Dunlop tires, remember?
Yeah.
That gave him, in some circuits, that gave him some advantage. And I remember, if I'm not wrong, he won 2 races. One of them.
He did, yeah.
In Valencia, I think. Yeah, but the number 24, I am very sorry. It's a number that is much more linked to Mr. Tony Elias.
Of course it is.
Tony Elias, for Andra to know, he was
I know that name.
He was the first Moto2 world champion.
Yep.
He was the one guilty for Valentino Rossi losing the championship in 2006.
Yeah.
Did everyone hate him?
Yeah, Valentino lost, I think, by 1 point, and that point was taken in Estoril by Tony Elias. Yep. And then Elias retired after a long career, and suddenly he appeared in Moto America, in the new American series, US series, and I think he made it twice to get.
He won the whole thing twice.
Yeah, Super World champion. And then now comes the gossip. Then he met the Californian girl.
Right.
And he was supposed to return, and he's still there. Now he has a family with children.
He got the green card.
Yeah, exactly.
That's super cool.
He went there just for racing, and you know what happened. It's like me when I went to Brazil.
Yeah, you never left.
You got the whole
just
deal.
For 2 years. Just for 2 years, and I stayed there 8 years. More or less the same story.
Oh, fantastic! Indeed, yeah. Tony Elias, what an absolute legend, indeed.
Yeah, very good.
Yep. So yeah, look, everybody. Today we're going to have a bit of a chat. So there has unfortunately been some bad news again this week. So we don't really like to touch on it that much, but unfortunately this week, Dean Berta Vinales, the cousin of Maverick, did unfortunately pass away at a Supersport 300, a World Superbike support race in Spain. Horrible news, and it's never something that we like to dwell on. But we did want to sit and have a bit of a talk this week about the increasing incidence of incidents, if you will. And I know it's something that Manuel does have some strong opinions on. So first of all, Manuel, I'll throw to you and just quickly some words about Dean Berta Vinales. What's he like as a rider? Did you know him? And what
look,
are your thoughts?
Stu, the first thing I think it's a must is to be with the family and the friends in this. I difficult. What is difficult? Difficult is much too simple word, in this absolute devastating times.
Exactly.
And just talking, I get goosebumps with this story. And I didn't know him. He's very young. I know that Maverick Vinales just put together a team this year, and his father was in charge of that team, just to push up his cousin, to help them.
Yep.
The same way he helps another cousin he has to race World Superbike. So Maverick helps the whole family, and now this incident happens. But it's him. Some weeks ago, it was an Aragon, a 13-year-old kid.
Yep.
Before that, we saw Dupasquier happening. Look, accidents in the World Championship have always happened. Okay, remember, but there was a long period between one and another. Long periods,
Exactly.
I remember the name. Well, a Venezuelan rider died in Germany in a race, also in 250, and then 8 or 9 years passed since Wakai had an accident in Jerez as well. But now it's happening too often.
Yeah, and multiple times per year.
Yeah, and it's a must. It's no sense just to say, okay, we do 1 minute of silence and then we throw ourselves in the hands of the providence. This cannot happen. This is not the way to do things, Okay. And what we don't pretend to do polemics here, but what we pretend in our modesty is to give our ideas, to just to go through this topic and give our opinions, not hysterical opinions, not Taliban opinions, because people have appeared that won't just stop racing or whatever things. This has to be approached in a mature way. And I understand the people who do it in a, very stomach way. I understand, but it's not the way. So I think that something has to be done, but things have to be done in a very calm way.
I think so, yeah.
Look, because I give you an example. In the past, the zone immediately off the tarmac, there were artificial grass.
Yeah. Yep.
Remember, this artificial grass was what made the Japanese guy who passed in Misano.
Oh, yeah.
Tomizawa.
Yes, Tomizawa.
Okay, look, what happened with Tomizawa was the following. He went off track, he touched the grass, and immediately the bike turned around made a very aggressive move because that grass was very slippery. And what happened? He went back on the asphalt.
Oh.
And then he was hit by another rider. Okay, this was something that brought that this artificial grass was taken off from all circuits.
Exactly, caused a change. Yeah,
caused a change, and now we can see these green zones that are basically escape zones, safer escape zones. But look what these zones brought. What happens now that the riders, especially the riders who are not experimented rider, they go over the limit.
They nibble a bit more and they nibble a bit more.
Yeah, because they know that there will be no danger.
Yeah.
So they for their integrity.
It is.
you know, but this is something that appeared when you did something to correct something and suddenly another problem appeared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So things, you have to do things, and maybe you do something that make other problems come out.
Yeah,
but
hence these 3-second penalties that we see on last laps, where people, the FIM's constantly having to catch up all the time.
Well, I did a bit of research. I can't believe I'm going to talk about this, but I was reading about Ayrton Senna, because I know he was a big advocate for safety and that kind of thing. And I was just going through, and my question, I guess, is, being that a lot of the tracks are the same, this obviously affected MotoGP as well as F1, but the things that they did, again, it was about the runoffs and having the gravel instead of the fake grass, the marshals reacting a bit quicker, and aggressive driving being punished a lot harder to stop people, I guess, being risky in the way they're doing that, which it appears that that's made a difference for F1.
Yeah, for F1, it really has. Senna and before him, Lauda, and before him, Jackie Stewart, they were key.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah. They were key people around which there were significant rule changes. Lauda got the Nürburgring shut down because it just wasn't suitable as a racetrack anymore, amongst other safety measures, Armco, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, when F1, because of the size of F1, it really has the influence to make these track changes. And when those track changes are made, it affects the other classes as well. But we've seen with Spielberg, the changes that they've made in the way they've laid the track out there, suitable for F1, but we're always saying about, is it suitable for MotoGP? So I think MotoGP as well, with a lot of the areas of track that they're on, they're still suffering with not specifically having their own tracks. They're racing on the same tracks that cars race on as well.
Yeah, but look, accidents cannot be avoided because the sport is a sport where you are always on the limit. But look, the examples I put, I don't know what happened in Australia, but in Spain, many people who practice bicycle on the roads got overrun, by cars.
Yep.
Because it's normal, But here they have changed the rules, and the rules, I mean the traffic rules. So cars have to, before overtaking, do it. So there will be still bicycle riders overrun, but they are much less because the law has changed.
Yeah.
It's in boxing. In boxing, now there are less deaths because now the referees has given the right to stop the combat if he see that the punishment is too high. In the past, until a guy was destroyed, they didn't stop.
Exactly.
So things have to be stopped. They think there is something that will continue to happen, but things have to be changed.
Yeah. So, and as you say, the contradiction that I see very much is, though, the people who are making the rule changes are also the same business that is looking to make money out of the sport. So they need to also potentially switch their priority a little bit and focus on the safety aspect as opposed to the spectacle for a little while.
Yeah, look, I think that we can't blame the organizer because the safety has increased tons in the last years, okay? But the one, and this is like politics, the one who changed the rules is the federation. It's like the parliament in a democracy, They have the task to change the rules because the FIM, the federations, are identities, non-profit identities. They just have to take care of the sport, have a clean sport, take care of the image of the sport. So it's their rule. Okay. Yep. The federation is the maximum responsible or the last responsible of doing these changes to basically put this changer on the paper. right?
Yep.
Regarding the organizer, it's clear. Look, there is a balance. An organization is a company that makes money, but the organization obviously doesn't want this kind of publicity.
Yeah, exactly. That's
because
never good.
which sponsor would like to enter in a sport where you have these
Exactly.
incidents?
What kind of parent is going to put their kids into a feeder class where these kind of accidents might happen?
Yeah, exactly. And basically the organizer, they are the first to want that these kind of things don't happen. But at the same time, they are a business company that when something like this happens, they 1 minute silence and we go on.
Okay. Yep.
You know, so the organizer is not to be blamed, and you have to see that he is the major part having interest in these things getting as small as possible. Then we have the riders.
Yep.
The third part of it. The riders, they are riders, you know, and obviously, Stu and Andrea, in this situation, all the parts have to be heard, all of them.
Of course.
You know,
it's a dangerous sport. There's not going to.
They have to sit on a table, on a round table, and everyone has to say. Probably what the riders say is completely different from what the press says, or from what the organizer says. But everybody, because if you hear a lot of things, at the end, all of them may have an idea, a different idea. Then you can cook the best solution.
Exactly. But like you said, Manuel, a lot has changed and safety has improved. It's not like nothing is happening. But again, these accidents are going to happen, but what things can be put in place to reduce them? So I went through I was quite sad actually eating my dinner, going through the list of these young riders that have died recently, and they are babies. Like,
look,
so
and there is something that ethically, cannot be accepted.
No.
Look,
exactly. Yep.
We cannot accept that on YouTube there is a video of a 13-year guy killing another 13-year guy. This sounds very harsh. I know that, and it's not demagogia. How do you say in English? Demagogia. It's not the
Sounds good how you said it.
Yeah. But it's the truth, you know.
Yeah.
It cannot happen with kids.
Yeah.
It cannot happen with kids. Although it's the same, but it's very different when it happens with grown-up men. When you are 18, you can go to the war. You can vote.
You can drive a car. You can drive
a car. But when you are 13, you know, when you are 18, you have taken your decision. Because in our society, with 18, we are supposed to be mature, which is not, but that's the age that has been chosen. But younger guys with 13,
But Manuel, when I was looking at these and I was sort of trying to understand it all a bit better, they have 42 riders on a track at once.
Yeah, look, then there are many things. There is not only one reason why these things happen. It's clear, no? It's clear. So these big grids with 42 people, the aggressiveness with which the young riders ride, that they see in their reference.
Well, I was just about to say, we've spoken about this before about Marquez. So when Marquez started riding, I think Valentino Rossi made a bit of an issue about how, he doesn't, how dangerous, and everyone looks up to him and copies what he does.
Yeah, no, but the one who, it sounds a little bit, the one who started all this, I say, was Valentino. 2005, Andra, if you go to Spanish Grand Prix 2005, last corner, you see Valentino pushing out Settige Bernal in just hitting him, impacting him. And I remember all us, even me, laughing and look what Valentino did and this, and this started a dynamic that, again, what Jack Miller did in Qatar this year, on the straight.
Exactly.
Look, this is so unacceptable. The kids have seen that.
I look at that. Well, so I think at the time I was like, oh, now on reflection, it's just like, no, these guys are professional athletes and they are role models, and there are kids out there that want to be them, copying everything they do.
If a young rider gets upset, like Jack did, on the straight, boom, and Jack might have been right, because probably before Mir did something incorrect.
Which is fine. You can be angry, but you don't.
But you know the difference. What Jack did appeared on TV.
Yes, exactly.
Everyone saw. Everyone saw. Everyone saw. And how many times was this action repeated? Bang, once, twice, three. And look what he did. And look what he did. So, okay, during a race, many things happen, and it's down to the marshal. And I imagine that it's very difficult to see and to judge every incident. But at least what appears on TV, you have to give an example, because the whole world is looking at it.
Yep, that's exactly right.
So what part of this comes down to, and obviously explain the technical side to me, is there anything here, I'm trying to frame my question, young guys on bikes that are too big or fast too early? Are they trying to, like, I was thinking about Acosta, he's going to be 18 or 19 years old on a MotoGP bike. Where is there a hazard in these young boys riding bikes that they're maybe not ready for yet?
I think, look, yesterday I had a long chat with Jorge Lorenzo's father, whose job, he makes his living out of working with young kids that want to be riders. Yep. So he knows perfectly how they think, because he starts with kids, 4-year-old kids. He starts with 4 years.
Exactly.
4 years.
Yeah.
Then he keeps working 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And he says that because my opinion was that what they should do immediately is push the age limit up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
In my opinion, I think that riders should arrive at the World Championship with 18.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. Yep.
Going back to, they are men, they have responsibility.
Exactly.
With 18, it's their decision.
Yeah.
And then, and not allow these 13-year-old kids going to bikes or riding bikes that big, that fast. Do like 18 World Championship, 16 and 17 kind of Rookies Cup, and this, and before just mini bikes.
Yep.
Yeah.
The mini bikes, even the Grand Prix rider practice on mini bikes. So this gives a huge. This was my idea, and I was firmly on that, sticking on that. But the Lorenzo's father explained me, look, the problem, you cannot put it on age, because as Andra said, Raul Fernandez, if he arrives with 20 years in MotoGP, the experience he has is much more than Sharin when he arrived in his time in MotoGP. Or Gerloff, who has been one wild card, or Jake Dixon,
Exactly, yeah.
But what, we have an age, there's an age restriction for older ages why not have an age restriction for?
Yeah, there's an upper age limit in Moto3. Why not have a lower age?
Yeah, no, but as you see, there are so many things that appear when we just scrap a little bit on it. So it needs a round table with people who, in theory, are professional of this, that are the FIM, Federation people.
Exactly.
They got paid, very much paid for this, So, and the decision cannot be taken in the heat of the situation.
Yep. That's
right. It has been like adults,
And there's so much to consider. And I'm curious what these young riders think and feel too. Like, this is obviously something that happens regularly. how do you have any idea, Manuel, what the riders feel about this? Do they say it's part of it? How would they feel if age restrictions were brought in? Or
I don't know. I probably, the riders are the ones who want things changed because they are riders. They are young. Look, I
remember being that age. You were bulletproof. Nothing could hurt you.
I don't remember.
You wanted to ride
far.
the fastest, biggest thing possible.
They want to be a MotoGP, right?
Yeah.
Jason, but no, look, what you said, it's bulletproof. You don't fear anything at that age. You don't see the danger. You are, okay, I crash, I stand up, you know, but that's why other parts have to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. So realistically, like I say, we've spoken a lot about, you know, where is this coming from? And as you know, we say, yeah, Marc Marquez, maybe a little bit, Rossi, maybe a little bit, but regardless where it started, we're seeing this over aggression, and this, you know, as we say, they're bulletproof. There's a complete lack of consideration and total desperation from all of these riders. How does the FIM deal with that? How can you take aggression out of a rider?
Look, Stu, again, I don't know the solution, because if I knew, I would open a company to solution the things. But you have a look at the Red Bull Rookies Cup.
Mm-hmm.
They ride like hell. You saw these races,
you
know, with the same bike. They are all kids, and there happen accidents, but everything seems to be under control because looking from outside, there are no dirty moves. They are aggressive, but, you know, I don't know, maybe they have to check if the organizer of the Rookies Cup explain the riders that if there is a dirty move, next race you are not in.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, is it as simple as these kids actually need, like you say, with things like Rookies Cup, they don't, and Andra, I suppose for yours and a lot of other people's benefit, when these kids are part of this Rookies Cup, it's not a case of 14-year-old kid turns up 3 times a week, gets on a bike and races a race around a racetrack. There's instruction, there are classes, there's all this sort of stuff. That's right. And so realistically, like getting a driver's license, you have to pass a theory test and everything, you know, to get your driver's license. To go in Moto 3 or Moto 2, surely you have to have been through this cycle and sat down and had this moves where there's a guy with a whiteboard going, this is a good overtake move. This is a dick move. Don't do it. You don't do this on a racetrack, you know. And as you say, Manuel, they then get punished as they go, you know, you miss a race when it happens. Is it a case of some guys aren't going through those systems?
No, I look, and what you said matches completely with what Jorge Lorenzo's father said. He said, you can go to a federation. Here in Spain, you pay 40 euros and you get your riding license. And you get into a track where it's always full gas, where you have a bike that can turn into a weapon, into a gun, you know. So he says that they have to go through an exam. And I asked him, which kind of exam? For example, they have to learn, he said, we do in our school, the first thing we do is the snake exercise. I said, which is the snake? We put a lot of cones, so rider learns how to, you know, and this can help him in a case of accident to have evasive maneuvers. Evasive maneuvers. Well, at this point, he is right. But again, as you see, there are so many things that come out. That's why they have to hear all the parts. The riders, maybe these guys that have school for riding, for riders, as press, you know, they have to, everything have to be heard. What cannot happen, and again, and this, I say it because it sounds so, you know, for our ears, that cannot happen is that we see a 12-year-old kid killing another 12-year-old kid. Exactly. This is not possible.
It's not
And this
acceptable.
no, this cannot happen. So we have to fight against this with all what we have.
Yep, exactly. I agree. And it looks like we're not the only ones that are saying this as well. We've had plenty of comments from riders and people on social media this week. So Michelle Fabrizio, we noted this week, made some very strong comments that World Superbike race and refused to race last weekend. Andra, you were having a look at that, weren't you?
I was, and I just jotted down some of the points. So he was retiring in protest for what happened, and I imagine most people out there have read it, but he was sort of saying, there's too much focus on the money than the safety, which we touched on just before. Again, Marc Marquez and the young riders copying his aggressive style of riding, which we've spoken about. He was just saying about the tracks, better escape space needed, and basically everything we've said, it's on FIM to really sit and, do something about it. So yeah,
but again, I agree in some points. Look, it's not the organizer. Okay, it's money, but if there is safety, their business dies. So they have the same interest. So regarding pointing to names, is not, blaming Marc of what's happening is not fair.
Absolutely.
You're right.
No, it's not fair. It's not real.
But it's not his fault.
Yeah, he's just, he writes in a certain way. Look, I remember perfectly, remember in Austria, the race where Marc Marquez pushed out Aleix Espargaró in the first corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
After the race, Aleix said the following. He said, I don't say anymore to Marc Marquez. I don't speak with him anymore because because this is the way he writes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then he says, so Marc Marquez does it because somebody allows him to do it.
Exactly that, and that's what I was going to say. He's just a product of his upbringing as well. He's a product of the him going through various leagues and academies, and he says this is the way I write, and this is the way I have done it all my career. Yeah, this has won me world championships.
Yeah, and somebody maybe say, okay, now it's time for you to change. But again, the same with Miller. And look at this. Look at the thing. When there is an incident, just notice there is always the same name involved. I just put an example. It's Rodrigo and somebody.
Yeah.
It was Darren Binder and somebody. It's Marc Marquez and somebody else. Have you ever seen Pedrosa, Dovizioso, Casey involved in an incident like this? Never. No. There are riders who are aggressive and others who are elegant.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And somebody has to take measures against this. It's not against, but showing this rider that it can't be like this.
Yep, that's right. And as you say, it's up to the FIM. It really is. They've shown on multiple occasions in the last few years where their decision making is inconsistent, it's flawed. They seem to be either unable or scared of making difficult decisions. And so for me, the blame firmly rests with the FIM for not taking stronger measures earlier in riders' careers.
But too, and I hope this is not insensitive to say because this is a discussion, but again too, we're talking about motor racing. Like you are never ever going to go out, ride, ride your ass off. You're gonna be fine. Like it's motorsport.
Exactly.
It's
inherently dangerous. Yeah.
Yes, and there is another thing we have forgotten. Another who have probably the biggest interest in this are the brands.
Yeah, so, of course. Yeah.
Imagine which interest have Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki, that is their business to appear, because in the normal news, I mean the newspaper, they appear only when something like this happens.
Yeah,
not when
not good.
a rider wins. So the propaganda is like, wow, look at this.
Look how
These are
dangerous this thing
crazy.
is.
It's suicide.
Yeah.
And we want the riders to go out and push to that limit just before falling off, or like that's the excitement in it, isn't it? How far can you push?
Yeah, but the excitement is okay. But what cannot happen are that kids die doing this.
Yeah.
This cannot happen. And I tell you, and the brands are the first who should lift their arm and say, hang on, we have to do something, because their business is to sell bikes. And if what appears on TV and in the news that bikes kill, which father and which mother are going to buy a bike to his son?
Exactly. Exactly. That's right. Yeah, they're killing their own sales. That's right.
Claro.
Yeah. Look, wonderful discussion, guys. Thank you so much. And I know it is a very morbid conversation, but it's one that I think needs to be had every now and again. So thank you, Manuel and Andra, for really having an engaging and open discussion there. I really appreciate that. Before we break, I just wanted to just quickly talk about what's coming up. You know, we'll put that to one side and we'll talk about
an international race. What?
Oh, exactly. An international
race. 2 years since there's been an overseas race.
Yep.
Shame it's not in Australia, but anyway.
Well, realistically, with the UK leaving the EU, does the UK count as an international race, Silverstone?
Overseas race.
Yeah, it's overseas. But yeah, so
we're
racing
for us, it's on the other side of the road race, like in Australia.
Yeah.
The water goes. Does the water go the opposite way? When you flush the toilet, like in The Simpsons, the water goes the opposite way.
Yeah, it goes the other way. Well, in Texas, when you flush the toilet, it goes moo, doesn't it?
So exactly, that's right.
And
so
then bang when it finishes, shots.
Yeah, indeed.
That's when you shit yourself, and luckily you're in the right place.
Exactly.
I was reading about this because obviously I have not seen the race in Texas, but what I was reading about is they've resurfaced the track to get rid of nasty bumps that they had, and everyone feels like they're at a brand new track. And 2 years, Manuel.
You know what happened? I think it's the second time they resurfaced the race. The problem is, it's funny that they build the race on a field or on a piece of land that moves.
Yeah. Oh my God. You're kidding.
Yeah, that is not very solid, so it moves. So yes, they again, let's hope that they.
How often do they have to resurface it?
The problem is it's not a problem of resurfacing. The problem is
But they'd have to resurface once.
No, the asphalt, it just like little lumps. That's why little lumps and bumps come up all the time.
It's where all the aliens are that are coming out next. Now they've prepared us for that with COVID.
That's it. That's what they've done.
I've seen that movie.
Yep. So we haven't been there for 2 years. Last time we were there, we had a Suzuki on the top step of the podium, which is.
I looked up the results and went, wait.
Yeah.
Is this right? Rins
Was that Rin's first win?
Was that the same Rins?
Yes.
Was that the same guy?
It was Rin's first victory.
And Valentino almost win. Almost win.
Yep.
And the third, I don't remember who was third.
Jack Miller.
Yep.
Jack Miller third.
Yes.
Wow. Yep. What a result.
We had Dovi in fourth, Frankie in fifth.
Yeah.
Petrucci in sixth, Fabio, who was a rookie that year, seventh.
Yeah, that was his rookie year, indeed. Yeah. So what do you reckon, Manuel? You're obviously not going over there, are you? Tell me you're not about to get on a plane and go to the US.
No, I will stay here. I will prepare my return to Misano. But look, the race will be kind of throwing the, how do you say?
Dice.
The dices. Yes, throwing dices because the new surface. Because of the new surface, Michelin send there more tires than normal. The riders have, instead of 3 options, 4 options.
Oh, good.
Because they don't know how it will behave.
How grippy it's going to be.
Grippy, the temperature, because nobody was able to go to US to try the asphalt. Yep. So this would be fantastic. Then what we spoke at the beginning before recording, there are people that in 2019 were nobody, like Fabio Quartararo, like Joan Mir, like Pecco Bagnaia. So the guys who now are the big fishes of the championship at that time were nobody.
Yeah.
Then Marc Marquez has won all the races but one because his engine broke. Oh no, he crashed because of engine problem. Here, this is kind of Marc Marquez circuit, you know.
It's up there with Sachsenring for him, isn't it? It's like, this is my track.
Andra, all the races but one that Marc Marquez has raced in the US, Laguna Seca, Indy, or Austin, he always won there.
Yeah. It's coming.
So,
coming.
So this is one of these races that he goes out for the win, you know, like Saxon, for example.
Yeah. And I'm thinking as well, there are certain riders that we see that whenever you put a few variables and a few unknowns in there, they don't seem to handle it well. You know, and for me, I'll say Fabio Quartararo seems to be one of those. When you take when his tire's just not quite right, or the temperature's not quite right, he seems to fade back really, really quickly. But there's others, like I think maybe like Pecco. For me, he seems to be able to ride through and around problems. So
I think Fabio's getting better with that.
Yeah, he probably is, but I don't know. For me, I don't know. I'm more thinking Pecco Marquez this weekend.
No, it will be interesting. We will see how the new Aprilia works there. If they manage to be quick without any data, they arrive like this, you know.
That's right. Yeah.
The same than KTM. The others have information from previous years, so they may handle it. And the question is, will finally Alex Rins arrive to the end of the race at the circuit where he won?
Yeah, I doubt it. I don't think he will. Honestly, I'm sorry. I just don't rate him.
And another question, another look, imagine Valentino Rossi. He gets to a track where I almost won, I made second. So probably he has also expectations.
In 2019, he was still up there. Last year was really his first very challenging season, right?
Who, Valentino?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Valentino last year did second or third in Jerez, remember?
Yeah. But then, 2019, he was still very much challenging for the championship.
Yeah, but Valentino, look, the detail that he painted his helmet with something for his coming baby.
Yeah, the pink ribbon. Yeah, I saw that.
Shows that what he's thinking about.
Yeah, no, he goes on that grid, the lights go out, and everybody goes, bah! He just goes, I'm on my victory lap. See you later, everybody. See you later, everybody. That's all he does.
And
he's having a great time.
Why not?
Exactly.
And you cannot criticize because he has given enough.
Not at all.
Agree.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yep. So for me, I reckon we're going to see Pecco, Mir, and Marquez up there.
I'm going for Fabio. You're going for Fabio? I don't know why.
Okay.
Too much beer. Going for Fabio.
Too much beer. And what about you, Manuel? Who do you reckon on the podium?
I'm thinking more in bikes. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
I think the Ducatis will do well there.
Yep.
They have the longest straight of the championship, Andra. The longest straight.
Oh, okay. Can we just delete? Can we delete my prediction and I'll just redo that?
No. We are recording this. You know that, right?
The Ducatis. I think the Suzuki will suffer.
Yep.
What about the Hondas?
Andra, there is a section downhill with a lot of S's.
Yep.
You know, that is as dangerous as it is nice, because if a rider crashes in the first part of that S, the bike can easily go through
the next one.
Yep.
Yeah, easy. It's one of these things like Austria or like Silverstone, but the track is amazing. You cannot imagine how cool the track is, how the Americans they live the races in a different ways too, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
How so?
Completely different.
It's just so laid back.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a hot dog weekend and this.
Yep.
What about
trailer parties in the car park? There's
exactly.
bars all over. It's I don't know what's like in MotoGP, but I know in World Superbike it's just access everywhere. You can just go and look anywhere in the paddock. There's bars everywhere. Just carry beer around. Laguna Seca, there's a bar right on the top of the mountain, and you can just go and sit there all day. It's brilliant.
That's where you'll find me. What about the Hondas?
I think the Hondas will do well.
Yeah. Probably Marc Marc will do well. Well, let me tell you something about Marc, and I think we can close with this.
Mhm.
Marc has to go under surgery again.
Oh, really?
On his arm.
Yes.
His arm again? Kept that quiet.
Arm, shoulder. Let's say the right upper area.
Oh, geez.
Shiza.
He's just
I
getting
know
it
this.
chopped off. He's getting a robot arm put on, isn't he?
I know this already some weeks ago because
When's
he has told
it?
this. He has told this to other riders.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, right. And you've spoken
He
to
has
him.
told this to a rider who was retired, has returned.
I wonder who that could be.
And but I did a bet on my Italian TV program last week because the conductor of the program, he said that he thinks that he will stop before the end of the season.
Right.
I think that he will not. If he stop, it's because the situation of the shoulder is very bad.
Mm-hmm.
But look, it's a contradiction because we see this is a reality. You know, this nobody can hide. The problem is there, and Marc tries to hide it, but it's there. But at the same time, with this problem, we see him doing races that are like astonishing. So you say, how can he do that?
Exactly. Yeah.
But he has the problem, so he has to fix the problem. So in my opinion, he will not stop before the end of the season because there is a ultra important test after Valencia for Honda in Jerez. You know, as we saw in the last test, Honda is really, it's not changing the bike. They are changing the concept of what they are racing. The concept, the bike is so different. It can be said that it's another bike, which doesn't mean that the bike is better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Probably they will end racing with 2018 bike, whatever.
Yeah.
But they have to explore that direction.
Yeah.
And we have seen that the other Honda riders, okay, what they explore isn't very much what at the end is good. So they need Marc to explain them if they are working in the right direction or not. That's why I think that he will enter in surgery after the
test.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got 3 rounds to go. 3 rounds?
4.
Oh.
USA, Misano, Portugal, and Valencia.
Okay.
Yep, indeed. Exciting. And all that in 6 weeks. And then it's test. Yep.
We go.
It is go. Indeed. All right. Look, thank you so much, guys. It's been absolutely fantastic to be back on the air with you all again. I missed you so much while I was on my deathbed. Oh, I was so sick.
I hope you were thinking of us in your last moments.
Of course, I was always thinking of.
You're like Jesus now. You nearly died and then you came back again.
Pretty much. That's how I feel. Yeah. Andra, any messages for the viewers?
I have a message, and I'm sorry because the YouTube name MN Nick gave us very nice comments. So thank you very much. Appreciate your support, and please tell all your friends. I have to tell a story. This weekend, I'm going to the Tail and Bend track with my friend from work who has a 2016 Ford Mustang, and I get to be passenger in his car while we spend 3 hours doing 20-minute intervals around the track. And I said to him the other day, I was like, do you mind if I pee in your car? And he's like, just don't tell me if you do. So I think he said we'll get up to about 230 kilometers down the straight.
Nice.
He's picking me up from home. It's like over an hour drive there.
Yep.
We'll do the track and then he'll drive me home. So, oh my God.
Enjoy.
Stand by for photos and
look forward to seeing that.
As you are in the air and the airplane business, you should send Andra one of these bags that are in the front of the seat.
Do you know what? I was actually wondering if I should
send
take
a couple
one.
of them.
I think I might take one because, and I tried on helmets the other day. I'm going to wear the open faced helmet so that I can see better.
Otherwise, we throw up, it all goes in there.
What if I? Oh my God, I didn't think of that. I was more being considerate because I was like, I can't throw up or in his car. Am I going to feel sick?
Do you normally get car sick?
If you are going to
do you
feel
get sick
sick,
on ride?
100% yes.
I don't think so, but now I wasn't even thinking about this until you
we made her
mentioned
think
it.
about it. Oh god,
You better
you'll
don't
be
have.
fine. You'll be fine.
Forget breakfast. Forget breakfast.
Yeah,
that day.
good idea. Don't have breakfast.
Oh, stop it.
No.
Stu, by the way, show me your T-shirt.
Hey, this guy.
Yes.
Hey.
Wow.
How cool
He's
is
the man.
that?
Old Joey Dunlop.
That's an awesome
Yes.
T-shirt.
Yep. You want to talk about hardcore, guys? There he is.
Hey,
sitting on
mine's
his bike
about-
on the racetrack with a fag hanging out of his
No,
mouth.
mine's got nothing to do with bikes on it.
Yeah.
Something
Indeed,
about
yeah.
a.
All right.
Oh, it does. It's got something about a road.
Oh, that'd be right. So
Stu,
yeah. Anyway,
did you buy it on the internet?
actually, Dave bought this for me. Remember, you know, Dave, our old presenter. Yeah,
Who's
he
Dave?
bought this for me as a gift. Who's Dave? Who's that guy?
Just kidding.
This was a birthday present for me a couple of years ago
Very
from
good.
Dave.
Yeah,
Nice,
good.
Nice.
Thanks, Dave. Good on
All
you,
right.
mate. Yeah, brilliant. All right, guys. So look, get out there, get on the socials, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure you get out there and engage with the podcast. And
give your opinion about the
This
topic
topic.
we
definitely
mentioned.
definitely.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, we'd love to hear what you think.
Yeah, because everyone's opinion has to be heard in this situation.
Yep, 100%,
Absolutely.
indeed. All right, enjoy the US race, guys. See you later. Bye.
Ciao.